aware about the topic that we are going to deal. We are almost dealing with almost every topics with regard to the management, right? With regards to business management, marketing management, human resource management. The reason why I'm taking this particular topic is because some of you people, some majority of the people are working professionals. So you people can relate this topic with yourself. Practically you can relate most of the topics. That is the reason why I'm sticking on to these type of topics. Okay, so the topic that we are going to deal today is about the change management. Have you heard about this topic? Do you know what it is about? Change management. This term itself suggests something. It's about change. So what type of change? So we'll be dealing what type of change it would be, what are the different types of change, and how the people respond to these change, and what are the solutions for the resistance if the people are not responding to the changes that is being taking place by the organization, what solutions we have. Okay, so these are the topics that we will be dealing today. So I hope you have a clear, a small idea about this change management. Can anyone tell me what does this change management means? Change management. Some of the people working in the organization might have experienced a specific changes that is being taken from the side of the management, or the organization might be coming up with a new changes. And new changes would be implemented in your organization. Say, for example, the methods, they are going to a new method of doing something. Okay, so instead of doing the previous way, they are switching to a new method. So when you're switching to a new method, there can occur a different type of resistance from the side of employees. Maybe the employees might be finding it very difficult to adapt that. Maybe the employees might not be given any proper training to the new methods of doing this. So many type of resistance can happen from the side of the employees. So changes is inevitable, right? Every organization have to be adaptable. So every organization have to be dynamic. They have to come up with the changes. So the changes, how well the organization manages this change. So that is a topic that we'll be dealing in this session. Okay. So you can see the PowerPoint, right?
Yes.
Okay, so change management, this is a topic. I hope we'll start with the session, and in the meanwhile, if you have any doubts with regard to the topic, you can just unmute yourself and speak about it, or the chat box is always open for you. You can even say through the chat box even. Okay, so we'll start with the session. In the session, I don't want any interruptions. So make sure that your microphones are on mute, so that you'll be having a smooth sessions. And if in between, if you have any doubts, means you can just unmute yourself and ask it. Okay, so the change management. So this is the topic that we'll be dealing today. So by the end of the session, each one of you will have an idea about what is change management. What is a change, and how do the organization makes a proper makes a proper way of dealing this change. What are the different types of change that takes place in the organization, and what is the process, how the changes is being implemented in the organization, the principles of change, the why do the people resist, they do not accept this change, what is the reason for that, and do you have any solutions for this resistance. So this is a very simple topic. We have a lot of listen objectives, but each objectives will be having a very few we'll be having a very few topic only. Okay, so we'll start with the session. The first thing is introduction. What do you mean by change? What do you mean by change management? It is a systematic approach in dealing with the transition of, you see, transformation of an organizational goal, the organization's process, or any technologies. So what they mean to say, every organization have to change one or the other way. I mean, at one or the other time, every organization is forcefully adaptable to this change. So we say every organization have to be dynamic enough. Why do we say? They have to be flexible. Whatever the changes that takes place within the, outside the organization, they have to be ready to adapt that changes into the organization as well. So this is an approach, this is a systematic approach in dealing with the transformation in the sense you are converting from the old method to the new method, or you are converting from the old technology to the new technology. So you are shifting to a new method, a new way of doing. Okay, the purpose of change management is to implement the strategies for affecting the change, controlling the change, and helping the people to adapt to the change. See, there are a number of employees working in the organization, right? So we always say human resource. They are considered as an important, valuable resources in the organization. So every organization have to make sure that every people working in the organization have an idea about this change to be taking place in the organization. You have to inform them everything. So there must be an effective communication within the organization so that every single employees working in the organization have a clear idea about the change. Okay, so to be effective, the change management process must take into consideration how an adjustment or a replacement will impact the process, will impact the system and the employees even. So you should not keep these employees apart. They are also a part of organization. So even if the management takes a decision with regards to the change, you have to make sure the employees are also a part of it. The employees are also you have to inform the employees even before implementing the change. So pure communication is very essential. You have to communicate each and everything to the employees as and when necessary. Okay, so before you implement the change, an organization have to make it study how this change is going to have an impact on the process of the organization, process that is being taking place in the organization, how this change will affect the employees. Sometimes, for example, sometimes the employees, some of the employees might not be very comfortable with a new change. So some of the employees might leave the organization without any notice. Okay, so what happens? You are switching to a new method, but at the same time, you are not giving any proper training to the employees to get adaptable to that new method. What happens? The employees might be feeling irritated, they'll be feeling frustrated, they won't be able to concentrate on their job. So slowly, gradually, the employees starts to leave the organization, employees turnover will increase, right? So to be effective, what the organization have to do, even before implementing any change, make sure to understand the impact of this change towards the organization. The impact can be in the form of different ways. Okay, there can be positive impact or there can be negative impact. So you have to analyze what is the impact that will create this, that will be encouraged, that happens in the organization. Okay, so this is, as I said, change management is nothing. You are switching from the old way of doing something, old way of thinking, old method, old technologies, old equipments, whatever that is outdated, and you switch to a new method, new way of doing something, new technologies. Okay, so it is a change. The change management is a process from where you transform from the old methods or old way to a new way or to a new process. Okay, now what type of change can take place in the organization? Okay, so we always say that change the change occurs in the organization. Change is inevitable. Now, what is these type of changes known as? The change can be in different way. The first one is change in tools, machines, or equipment. See, for example, you already have a very old technology or very old machines that you have been using for about 5 to 10 years. Okay, so we know that this is a competitive world. You have to be very focused about the competition. You have to be very focused about our new technologies, improved technologies. So if it's a situation where you are forced to change or forced to adapt to a new technology, okay, so if all of a sudden the organization decides to substitute the outdated technology or to substitute the previous or old machines with a new one, so an organization decides to implement a new machine into the organization. Okay, so what happens when a new machines or when a new technology is being introduced into the organization? You have to make sure that you train the employees to do how to use that machine. Train every employees who is handling that particular machine to be, they have to be informed about it. Okay, so change can be of this way, like you are switching to a new machine, you are switching to a new technology, equipments, tools, whatever. Okay, so such type of change can take place anytime. The second one is change in method. Almost some of the organization would be having a way of doing something. There must be a process or what to say, a systematic process or systematic activities taking place in the organization. So almost every employees would be used or they will be accustomed with that particular method. Okay, so when an organization, if the change is essential, the organization have to come up with a new method of doing something. New method can lead to decrease in cost, can lead to decrease in cost or whatever electricity. Many changes can, I mean, many because of many reasons, they are forced to switch to a new method. Okay, so time consumption was an important factor. The reason why you're switching to a new method, you can save your time, you can save your cost. So for that particular reason, if you in the sense the organization decides to switch to a new method, that during that time also the organization have to be very cautious about it. They have to be very cautious that every single employee is working in the organization have an idea or they are being informed about this change. So this is a second type of change, when you're changing into a new method. The third one is change in business condition. So when you're making change in the nature of your product, you are going to make some changes in the quality of the product. So say for example, there is a change in the business cycle. Maybe the cycle might have changed from a boom to a recession stage or to a depression stage, whatever, or from a depression to a recovery stage. So change in the business cycle, any change that takes place in the organization with regards to the market. Okay, so that is also a type of change. Change in managerial personnel. Maybe some of the employees who might be very experienced, who's having almost 10 to 15 years of experience, leave the organization. They leave the organization without any notice, or they might have passed away, or many reasons. So on that, you are substituting the old employee with a new employee. That new employee can be any manager, can be any superior, can be any CEO. So when a new person comes into the organization, sometimes a change can take place within the organization. A new manager can come up with a new way of doing something, or they are coming up with a new way of handling the machines, new way of handling the money, new way of handling the finance and all. So how that will have an impact on the organization. So when an employee is being switched, when an employee is being replaced with a new one, that time also an organization experiences a change. And finally, informal organization structure. What type of change? Informal means what? That is not formal. Now, what is that? For example, some of the organization might be very strict. So all the employees would be working under a very strict guidance or rules. So these, even after working under this strict rules and regulations, some of the employees might be feeling very comfortable when they talk with their colleagues, when they have a conversation with their colleagues during lunchtime. Okay, so when a sales team meet the HR team, or when a sales team meet the accounts department in a lunch, in a canteen during the lunchtime, so they have a very good time during lunchtime. So that is an informal way of informal organization structure. Now, if an organization decides to change the lunch time of different departments, so sales department should have a lunch time during this time, like 12 to 12:30. The accounts department will be having a lunch time of 12:30 to 1. So they won't be having enough time to meet up. So when an organization makes any change informally, that distracts, or that disappoints the people working in the organization. Again, that is a type of change. So these are some of the types of change that can take place in the organization. Okay, so we'll move on to the next topic. Now, how do you make the changes? So process of change. What can you say? What are the different process of change? The first one, Kurt Lewin, he was a person, he have come up with a new model. That model is known as Levin's 3-stage model of change. And since this was introduced by the person Kurt Lewin, that is why this model of change has been called as Levin's change model. Now, this is a change that is inevitable. Occurrences in any organization, and change is an inevitable process, and that have to be successful. Change must be managed properly. Okay, now this Kurt Lewin, he have come up with a new model, and that model consists of 3 stages of change. Now, what are those 3 stages? First one is unfreezing. The second one is changing. And the third one is refreezing. So these are the 3 types of change: unfreezing, changing, refreezing. So he have compared, or he have related this type of change. Say, for example, what happens if you want to cook a frozen, if you want to cook a chicken or fish items and all, you take this particular item. If it is frozen, that was kept inside the freezer, you take it from the freezer and keep it for some time. You wait for that to defrost, right? You cannot cook all of a sudden. So that is known as that he have compared the change with that of this. And that is why these 3 stages has got its name as unfreezing, changing, refreezing. Now let's see how he related this to the type of changes. The type of changes that is taking place. What do you mean by unfreezing? So unfreezing is a stage where an organization have to make sure that before implementing any change, you have to give some information to the employees. You have to make sure that employees are aware, employees are informed about this particular change. So old behavior, the different way of thinking, the process, people, and organizational structures, they must be carefully examined to show the employees how necessary a change is for the organization to create or maintain a competitive advantage in the marketplace. So without any information, you are just implementing the change. That will have a negative impact in the organization, right? So unfreezing is a stage, or is a first stage of change, where you have to make sure that employees are made informed, or employees are informed about that particular change even before implementing. Say, for example, 1 month before, 2 months before, you have to inform the employees that, see, after 2 months, we are gradually planning to switch to a new technology. So that technology it will take some time to adapt. So you have to inform the employees even before the implementation of change. So that is a stage of unfreezing. And now, when all the employees are informed about it, slowly the organization can, they can change the I mean, they can switch to a new method. So that switching process or transformation process is known as changing. So this changing is also referred to as transitioning, moving, and this is marked by the implementation of the change. Now, this is a stage where the real change happens. It's consequently the time that most people struggle with a new reality. It is a time marked with uncertainty and fear, making it the hardest step to overcome. So, this is a stage of change. This is a stage of transformation. This is a stage where the actual change takes place. You are completely switching to a new method or a new technology. Okay, and finally, the third stage is rephrasing. Rephrasing is nothing. The organization is making sure that the employees do not switch back or employees do not move back to the old state. So you have to make sure that give them training, give them ongoing support. So this support will make the employees adaptable to the change being implemented. So this is a final stage. This is at times it is referred to as rephrasing to symbolize the act of reinforcing or stabilizing. So you are making sure that the employees are stable. The employees are successfully following that change. The changes made to the organization, the people accepted it and refrozen as the new norm. So the organization, all the employees have adapted to the new change. That is a process of rephrasing. Okay, so unfreezing means that happens. This is a process before the change takes place. Okay, so this is a process where the employees are being informed about the changes. You are making sure that, see, these was the technologies that we were using for about 6 years. Now we have to change. The environments are changing. So we have to switch to a new technology. For that, the organization have to implement this technology into the organization. But we are not going to implement this all of a sudden. This is not going to happen all of a sudden. So this will take some time. So you can gradually adapt to that change. So when you make a good communication with the employees, that will definitely have a positive impact. Okay, so unfreezing is a stage that takes before implementing the change. You make all the employees aware about the change, and all the change is essential, change is important, the change is going to have a positive impact. Make them aware about it. And then moving on to the second stage is changing. Now changing is a process where actual changes takes place. The changes is happening really. Okay, that is a stage of implementation. And once you implement, you should not leave. I mean, you should not, you have to take care that have a constant feedback with the employees and make sure that all the employees are getting adaptable to that new change. Okay, so that is a process of refreezing. So refreezing is a stage that happens after the implementation of change. You make sure that all the employees are successfully following that change. Clear? So, so unfreezing, changing, and refreezing is the 3 stages of change or 3 models of change. Okay, so we were talking about what the change management is. Okay, what type of changes? We always say change is essential, change is inevitable. What type of changes are we talking about? The change can be in the form of different ways. It can be like change in method, change in the personal, change in informal organization structure, change in any technology, whatever. Okay, then we came to know about the process of change, how we adapt to a new change. Okay, we have one more model. Before that, I just wanted to make sure that, do you have any doubts with, till now, do you have any doubts with regard to the topic? Anyone?
No doubts.
No, so far so good.
Yeah, I just have a question to you. I know that some of the people are working professionals. we always say change is inevitable for every organization. So I want to know, does any employee, any one of you, have experienced any sort of change in your organization recently, or whatever, whenever it can be? Any sort of change that you might have experienced? Anyone have any ideas or thoughts to share regarding that? If you people share, that is very beneficial to all the others hearing also.
Hi, ma'am. Yes, I had experienced
Yes.
recently a software change. I mean, a developed software, which
Okay.
is called SAP. I know you might aware of that.
Yes, I
Software.
know that it's SAP software. So you're working in accounts department?
Actually, retail,
Yeah.
not in
Okay.
accounts. Yeah. Retail.
Yeah, fine. So what, did you feel any difficulty in coping up with that change?
No, I also got that training before the
Yes,
changes
very good.
happened. So yeah.
Okay, so this is what we are talking. When the employees are properly trained before the change that takes place, that is especially beneficial for all the single employees working in the organization, right? So employees should be informed about it, so that the employees would be finding it happy, or they will be feeling very comfortable working in the organization. So anyone else have any sort of experience with regards to the changes in your organization? The changes can be in any way, like, so for example, your superior. You have every organization might be having their superior, so where you are responsible, you are accountable to this particular person, right? So what happens when your superior, or when your higher authority is being replaced with a new person entirely from an external? They are not somebody who's working within your organization, they have been hired as a newly fresher. So a new superior, sometimes the old superior would be a very good person. He might be very leading you properly. He might be asking you in every stages, he will be communicating each and everything. So sometimes the new person who comes in place of this person might not be the exactly the same as that of before, right? So sometimes you people will be finding it very difficult to communicate each and everything to your new person. So have you experienced any sort of changes? Doesn't matter, this is just for example I said this. Any other changes, if you have, you can just share your experience, because that is very good, that any everyone will have an idea about it.
Yes, ma'am, I have experience regarding it. Sorry,
Yes.
I can't come video on.
Okay.
I'm working for an international school, and recently our head of school changed.
Yes.
This academic year, actually.
Okay.
And she was there for the past 10 years.
Huh.
And now it's a new manager.
Okay.
So the nationality and everything differs, and the system also changed.
Okay.
So as you said, yeah, it's a lot of difference for me and for the employees too. Yeah.
Yes, the changes can take place and it can have a very impact. So sometimes the changes can have a positive impact on the organization, right? Am I right or not?
Yeah.
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 Most of the, yeah, continue.
Yeah, because when it's a change of management as a person, other than technically or something, it's even the nationality, the personal behavior, and their educational experience or their qualifications or their experience in the field, everything affects.
Yeah, everything.
That's what I'm learning now. Yeah. It has been only a few months, so I'm still learning. Learning to cope up with the new system. Yeah.
Exactly. So that is what we are talking about. Like any changes can have a positive impact on the employees. Most of the organization will come up with a change to have a positive impact, right? Everyone have to be an ultimate beneficiaries of that. Everyone have to benefit, not just the organization, but also the employees, right? So sometimes the change is essential, and that change will have a very positive impact. Okay, thank you so much, Miss Hema.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else have anything to share, or else we'll continue with the topic? Okay, so we were talking about, moving on to the, we'll come to the topic. We were talking about the models of change or the process of change. Now, this process of change, that is unfreezing, changing and rephrasing, is a stage that have been introduced by the person Kurt Lewin, and that is why this process or model of the change have been called as a Lewin's change model. Now, before that, okay. Yeah, we do have another model. So this is a second model that we are going to talk about. Like Lewin's model, there is another model for managing the change. That particular model is known as ADKAR, ADKAR model of managing change. So this particular word have got its explanation. Means each single letter have an explanation or have a complete different way of doing, a different strategies. The first one is ADKAR. Each letter stands for awareness. A stands for awareness, D stands for desire, K stands for knowledge, A stands for ability, and finally R, reinforcement. That is why this name, this particular model has got every single objective is the first letter of each thing, and that is why it is known as ADKAR model of change. And how do we manage the change under this model? Now, this is a powerful model that is based on understanding that organizational change can only happen when individuals change. The people working in the organization have to change. They have to think differently. Okay, only then that will have an impact on the organization, right? So organization is an artificial body. So entire organization is managed by the people working in the organization. So when the people or the management is ready for a change, ultimately the organization is also ready for it. Okay, so by outlining the goals and outcomes of successful change, the ADKAR model enables the leaders and change management team to focus their activities on what will drive the individual change and therefore achieve the organizational result. Okay, we'll see each one. First one is awareness, A for awareness. Communicate the reason for change. Why is change necessary? Enable the open dialogue between the people is very important to have, so that they can share their experience. They can ask any sort of questions if they have. And you can even conduct the video interviews with the customers or employees to showcase the various perspectives. See, awareness means what? Every employee should be aware, should have an awareness about it. You have to clearly communicate with the employees. Why is this change taking place? Why do we say this change is essential? The reason for change is very important to be communicated properly to the employees. Okay, so there must be an open conversation. There must be an open conversation between the management and the employees. So when a good rapport that takes place between the organization and the employees would come with you, or the employees would stand with you during the period of change, right? So that is a case of employees. Even if you want to have a communication with your customers, you can even do that. Okay, so you are analyzing whether the customer is expecting a change from us. So if there is if there is a hope for that, or if there is a chance for that, definitely you have to have a constant feedback or have a communication with your customers even, so that the customers, the employees, and every single people working in the organization will stand with you for supporting this change. The second one is desire. Empower and engage the individuals. How can you motivate the people to want change? That is what like I said before, regular communication, that is a proper and open communication and involvement are key to increasing the desire for change, and to ensure a change resistance won't build up due to frustration. Make your employees feel heard by inviting them to share their knowledge, their experiences, give them the feedback, and answer any questions if they have. So you have to make sure that employees should be motivated. Okay, have a proper communication with the employees. If the employees are not comfortable with this new change, understand what is the essentiality. I mean, why do we change, or what is the reason for this change? And if you find that any single employee is not comfortable with this, give them the ongoing support, so that in every difficult situation they understand what might be. I mean, they must have a support from the side of the management. They can definitely be happy with it. So employees feel heard. So if you communicate everything to your employees, if you get the feedback from the employees might be happy, the employees might be satisfied. They will feel that I am considered as a valuable person. That is why they are asking the feedback from my side. So understand them, understand the employees. So make the suggestions, get the suggestions or get any recommendations from the employees if needed. Okay. Now, the next thing is knowledge. So knowledge means what? Learn by sharing. How will people contribute? You wanted to know how the people always have to come out of their comfort zone and they have to contribute their best. That is what all the organization is expecting from employees, right? So for the changes to be taking place effectively, employees and the managers need to acquire a new in-depth knowledge or undergo a new training. Don't just send the people, of course, to a new course, but make sure you have the structure, you have the tools in place for them to implement the new ideas. Okay, so you have to understand how the people are going to contribute towards this change. That is what we are talking about, the knowledge. The next thing is ability. See, knowledge means what? It talks about all the theories. Ability means you are analyzing how you can get things done, how you wanted to get these things happen. What is a problem that distracts or that hinders from the people from contributing towards the change? So as a leader, what they have to do, encourage the people, motivate the people to contribute more, give the people consideration, even if they fail or even if they make any mistakes. Do not blame them. Instead, motivate them, encourage them, give them proper training so that they won't repeat the same mistakes in future. Okay, so there is no point in shouting at the employees for no reason. So what will happen? You want all the employees to be satisfied in the working in your organization, right? So if the employees are having a satisfaction, they will never leave the organization. Okay, so ability, understand what the people can contribute, what is their ability towards the contribution towards this particular change. And finally, reinforcement. What do you do to make sure that even after change, the things don't go back to how they were before? So you have to understand that after implementing the change, you should not sit quiet. What you have to do, make sure they won't revert back to their old way of doing. Okay, so to sustain the change, keep talking about how things are progressing, celebrate all the milestones and share all the stories of success. Continuously share the messages and stories about the change, encourage the managers, encourage the employees in one-on-one meeting. That is, you have a meetings with each person individually so that an organization can understand what an employee is expecting from us. Give the people opportunity to talk about any obstacles that arise to ensure that they can be addressed the right way. So give them an opportunity to talk about any problems they are facing. Okay, give them an opportunity to talk, give them an opportunity to share their ideas. Okay, so reinforcement is a stage or the process where the organization ensures that things do not revert back to the previous way or previous situation. Okay, so this is about the ADKAR model of managing change, ADKAR. So each letter have an explanation. A stands for awareness, giving an awareness towards the employees about the change. Desire. Desire means you wanted to understand how motivated these people are. Knowledge means what? Every sharing, like you wanted to make sure that employees, they have a complete knowledge about the new method or new process. Ability, you wanted things to happen in the way that you are expecting. So as a leader, encourage the people, contribute, get the people out of the comfort zone and make them feel contributed more towards the new change. And reinforcement, and now the people do not revert back to the previous situation. Our organization have to make sure that. Okay, so this is a stage of a change, and this is how, and another, this is also a process of change, and this process of change have been introduced as a different model, and that model is known as Edgar model of change. Now, this is a question for you. You have to identify what are the 3-stage model of change that is developed by the Kurt Lewin. So Kurt Lewin, we have identified like who it was introduced by a person, that is Kurt Lewin. For that person, he have introduced with the 3 stages that is known as Levin's change model. Now, what was those 3 stages? You have a different set of options. I want you to choose one among this, which is the correct answer.
Third one.
Third one. What is the third one? Says
unfreeze, change, refreeze.
So can anyone explain me the 3 stages of model? Just according to your term, I mean in your own words. Unfreeze, change, and refreeze. It is a model of change. It is a process how the changes is being taken place in an organization. So according to Kurt Lewin, he have introduced the process as unfreezing, changing, and refreezing. So any one of you, can you explain to me what each stage means? Just one sentence is enough.
Unfreezing means before the change take place.
Yes.
And the change means where the exact implementation take place.
Yes.
And refreeze means where the change has been taken place. Anyone is trying to switch back to the previous one, or whether he is continuing with the implemented process.
Yes. Very good, Mr. Thomas. Yeah. So this is a stage that takes place, that is a systematically that happens. Unfreezing means something that happens before the implementation of change. Okay. So the second one is changing. So changing is a place where the real change that takes place. Okay. Now the third one is refreezing. Refreezing is something that happens after the change. So after change means the organization have to make sure whether the employees are adaptable to this new change or whether they are reverting back to the old method or old way of doing and all. So you are making sure all these things after the implementation of change. So this is how 3 sets of change according to Kurt Lewin. Okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. And we'll move on to the next topic, that is 4 principles of change management. So every organization, irrespective of the nature, size and all, every organization should have these 4 principles considered. Before implementing a change, before they changes, they have to consider 4 things. First one, understand the change. Second one, plan. Third one is implement. Fourth one is communicate. So understand, plan, implement, and communicate are the 4 principles of change management. Understand means what? An organization have to firstly understand, why do we need a change? Why we need this change now? What are the benefits? What benefit will we get after implementing this change? Will that benefit be a positive impact or a negative impact? How this change is going to affect the employees working in the organization? Whether this change will have a successful landing. Okay, so these are the things an organization have to understand at the initial stage. Second one, if you have a very good answer to all these questions, you can move to the next principle. The next principle is plan for this change. how are you planning to implement this change? Any plan you make has to be right for the organization, right? So the plan, the type of plan can vary depending upon the organization. Okay, so if it is a highly structured or if it is a highly built organization, they should have a detailed plan. Okay, so that is what planning. Planning is something that I used to always say, that is something deciding in advance what is to be done in the very next moment. Okay, so once you understand why we are going to change, the next thing you do is plan for that. And once you're done with that, the next thing is implement it. So how exactly are you going to make this change happen? You ensure that everyone involved in the change understand what needs to happen and what it means for them. Implementing isn't something that should happen overnight. It is something that have to be done in a very small process. So it's best to outline the entire process in the first stage itself. Set the official start and end dates. So never an organization should implement a change all of a sudden or overnight. They have to change in a step-by-step process. So, okay, so you must have an official start and finishing date for this project. So once that project is over, the change is over. Okay, so implement the change is the third principle. Fourth principle, and the most important principle, is communicate. I always say communication is very essential. There should not have a communication gap between the organization and the employees. That will definitely affect the organization in one or the other way. So communication is always an important part of the effective change management. So you have to make sure that communicate everything to your employees at least 1 month before a change is implemented. So that is a minimum due time. At least they must have an idea about this at least 1 month before. No organization, never an organization should come up with a new decision in the morning. So like, see, tomorrow we are going to adopt a new technology. We are going to switch to a new method. You have to understand, you have to study by yourself. This will never work out. So what happens? Communicate each and everything to the employees, make them aware about all the things, give them proper training, give them proper support. Only they can contribute the best towards the organization. Okay, so 4 principles of change management is, you have to first understand why the change is necessary. Second one, if you have a question for that, if you have an answer for that question, you have to plan for a change. The third one is, if you plan every planning is being done very smoothly or very clearly, concisely, go for the implementation stage. And once you implement it, make sure you communicate everything. Make sure you have a proper communication with the employees with regards to the after impact of the change towards the employees. Okay, now my question is, can you say whether every employees will accept the change of the management? I mean, will the organization, when an organization is coming up with a new decision with regards to the change, okay, changes can be in any way. Like I said before, there are types of changes. Changes can happen anyway. But certain employees will not accept this. Certain employees, no, I can never do this. I can never accept this type of change. I can never go back, switch to a new method because I'm used to this method. I can finish my job very easily with this previous method. I can never go for the third method or second method. So there can be resistance from the side of employees. Now, you have any idea why do people resist? Why do people do not accept the change that is being introduced by the management? You have any idea why are the people resisting towards the change? What might be the reason? Anyone have any idea about this? Why do the people are resisting towards the change which was introduced by the management? There must be any reason, right? You people are also employees. So what happens if you are in such a situation, you are not accepting the change that has been introduced by the management, and what might be the reason for that? there must be always a reason for the resistance, right? What might be it?
Can it be the fear of being incompetent?
Fear of incompetence, yes, that can be one reason. Anyone else, other, I mean, not anyone else, any other answer, I mean, a reason for the resistance?
And the fear of change itself.
Fear of
change itself.
Staying in the sense?
Change. Because when something is going to be changed, it will be a total change, and people may not accept that change at a sense. I don't think it's a reason.
I'm sorry, ma'am, because I'm not able to understand, because there is a slight disruption in your voice.
Yeah, there is some problem with the internet here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was not hearing properly. Can you repeat it once again?
No, I was thinking whether it's a fear for change itself, because when the organization management is getting changed or a technology is getting changed, there will be a fear of us being incompetent without proper training.
Yes, very good. So that is a one exact reason I have to say. Fear of incompetence. Every organization wants to survive in this competitive world, right? So they understand that this is a time for change. Even if the employees are not cooperating with you, but this change is essential. Even if the employees are resisting, what would be the decision from the side of the organization? They will completely reject the resistance of the employees, right? They will go towards this change because an organization understands that this change is essential. For example, BlackBerry. Why the BlackBerry is not available now? Why it was thrown out of the market? The main reason was the company Apple was growing gradually, right? Now the Apple is considered as a king, or they have completely dominated the market. So this BlackBerry had many drawbacks. They did not adapt to a new environment. That is the reason why the Apple took that place. Okay, so we have different examples in front of us, right? So these might be the reason some of the organization who was a very famous or familiar in the previous times is not even seen now, right? So now I'm saying that why do the people resist this change? The employees would be having many things running in their mind. Why do the people resist towards the change? The first thing is that loss of status or job security. The employees might be feeling of security, job insecurity. They might be feeling like, yes, the organization is coming up with a new change. This change can harm the security of my job. If I go towards this change, sometimes I may not be able to survive with this change. So gradually they will I'll be thrown out of the company. So this job insecurity might be the reason why the employees are not directly accepting the change. Second one, lack of communication. The organization might not be properly communicating the decisions to the employees. So the employees have no idea why the organization is having a change, why the organization is implementing this change now. They are not being informed about anything. So lack of communication can be another reason why the employees are resisting. The third one, organizational politics, fear of failure. Say, for example, a change in a new superior or a new manager have been appointed now or today. Okay, the employees didn't have any idea about it. A new manager have been appointed and he has been joined the organization. Okay, now you have a fear. You're having a doubt whether this manager is capable of taking up the previous position, whether this manager is capable of implementing all the decisions, whether the manager is a proper leader for you. So many things would be running around to the mind of employees. They will be having a fear of failure. Okay, so that might be another reason for the change resistance of the change. And last one is constant changes. Some type of organization, they are not stable. They frequently make changes. So no organization will have a success if the changes is happening all the time. Every single month they are coming up with a new changes. So if there is no stability, the change is essential, but what you have to do is that implement only those change which you find that is to be very essential towards the organization. See, this organization is coming, your competitor is coming up with this product, so I will also come with this product. Now some other competitor might be introducing some other feature into their product, so I am also going towards that. So if the organization have no stability, that will definitely, even if you implement a change, that will never work out. Okay, so constant changes. An organization should never have a changes all the time. There must be, you have to implement the change only if it is essential. Okay, so constant changes in the organization will make the employees resist towards the change. Some of the employees won't accept that. I'm not ready to go for this change. So these are some of the reasons why the employees are not supporting the change which is being implemented by the organization. Now, these reasons, what an organization can do, to overcome this resistance. So when if you wanted to implement the change effectively, and you also want organization want also to overcome this resistance, what steps they have to take? First thing, communicate the change effectively. You have to communicate each and every minute things to the employees as and when needed. Second one, implement the change in several stages. You should not implement the entire thing in an overnight, in a single day. So instead, what you have to do, first you switch to a new method. Say, for example, like one of our participants said that a new change, they have been switched to a new software, accounting software into that SAP. So you have to make sure that once you switch to a new method or a new software, the second thing an organization have to do is that provide adequate training to the employees for using the software, because most of the every employees are used to the previous software, right? So there is a change. When you switch to a new software, the way of doing will always change. So every employees who are supposed to use that software should be provided with an adequate training so that they handle everything very easily. So you have to implement the changes in several stages, not all of a sudden, several step by step. There must be systematically implemented. Third one, listen to the employees. Without getting the suggestion or without communicating anything with your employees will never work. If you want the support from the side of employees, you have to definitely listen to them. You have to hear what they have to say. If they wanted to come up with any suggestion or solution or any ideas or any feedback, listen to the employees is very essential. If you listen to the employees will listen to you. Okay. Now, educate the employees on value of the change. Make them understand why the organization is going for a change. This is the reason. You have to list out. These are the reason why an organization is necessary for a change. And if you educate the employees with regards to the change, definitely they will listen to you. Now, the last one is provide ongoing support or training if needed. If an organization finds that it is necessary for an organization, it is necessary to adapt to this change. So you have to provide enough training to them. So give them proper training, give them proper support so that the employees can cope up or adapt to the new change. Okay, so I will conclude this topic with a quote that was said by Jack Welch. He says that if the rate of change on the outside in the sense externally, exceeds the rate of the change on the inside, the end is near. What he tries to say from that, if the rate of the change, you are in an organization, you are working, or the organization is being placed in the environment, right? Business environment. So you do not, you should not work within yourself. You have to look outside what all the competitors are doing, what is the changes that is taking place in the market, what changes happens in the taste and preferences of the customers. Understand that, and by understanding, make necessary changes in your organization. And if you are not doing that, if you're still being the same, what happens? The changes that is taking place outside keeps on increasing, and that keeps on increasing, and that exceeds the change that is taking place within the organization. And the thing is that if you are not capable of adapting to the new change, definitely you will be thrown out of the market. Okay, so if you want to stay in the market, okay, unlike BlackBerry, unlike Kodak Films, there are different companies that is not being there in the market, right? Just because they fail to adapt to the different changes. Okay, so if you move on with the changes that is happening outside, you can definitely win the market, or else you will be thrown out. So the organization have to be flexible. The organization have to be dynamic enough to the changes. They have to understand the changes. They have to adapt the changes. And if the change is necessary, you have to be ready to accept that change, understand that change, plan for it, and communicate. The most important part, communicate each and everything to your employees ultimately. Clear? So that is it. So this is what I'm trying to say. Like every organization needs changes. Okay, for every organization, change is an essential part, but implement that change only if you find this is very essential. Only if you find that this change cannot be kept apart. Okay, only then you have to go for the change. Okay, so in this session, we have covered like what is a aspect, a concept of change management. So change, what is a change, and how properly the organization manages it. So we have gone through the different process of change. This process of change have been called as a different two models of change. Kurt Levin's models of change, and the second one was Edgar model of change. So these are the two models where they say how to manage this change. Okay, and then we studied what are the principles of change, why the employees are resisting towards the change, and what are the reason or what solutions can an organization go towards it. Okay, so that is it. So we'll have a quick interaction with the people. You have any doubts with regards to the topic, you can just ask you can have if you're finding it very difficult to communicate, unmute yourself and speak, the chat box is open for you. Even you can type and ask us. Any doubts? It's not about the doubts. If you have anything to share with regards to the change management, see, that's what I'm saying. Every people, majority of the people might be a working professional, so they might have a small idea even, or very small things or experiences to share, right? That is what I'm asking. If you have anything to share, you can just come up with it.
Ma'am, could you send this change management soft copy for us?
This presentation, PowerPoint?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sure.
Because sometimes we join a late, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, fine, I understand. I will definitely share it with the admission counselors.
Okay.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Manoj. How are you?
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm listening very fruitful session from you and since beginning, and it was really pleasure to be here as well.
Thank you.
I have some, it's not about what I have a question, but it's about, I would like to clarify myself more and more actually regarding management of change, right? We normally call MOC. So in this case, like a management change, in which circumstances management change is required? Like if I'm going to tell something about MOC, normally as I'm working in abroad, if there is anything new things changes or any incident happen and any key point personnel will be changed or something, policy protocol change, that time there is something going to be or required to be changed for the MOC. But in this session, what could be the best that we have to understand about the MOC that gonna be reflect to our business?
Impact you're talking about?
Yes.
What impact this change will have towards the employees? You wanted to know about the impact towards the employees?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, I used to say, change is essential, right? So change, the organization, most of the organization, why do they come up with a change? To have a positive impact. Only the employees will survive or employees will sustain in the organization only if they find that particular change is having a positive impact. Okay, so they have to, organization have to give a pure awareness or pure information towards the employees, the positive impact. No organization will introduce a change that will have a negative impact on all the employees. Definitely all the employees working in the organization might be having a fewer experiences working with them, right? So the organization will never entertain a particular situation where all the employees starts to leave the organization. Right? So impact can be in different way. Sometimes the organization is forced to change just because they wanted to survive in this competitive world. See, there are many organizations who is not still surviving just because competitors that now with the increase in the competitors, day by day the number of organizations coming up is very large, right? Many companies are coming up every day. Now they will be startup. In very few years, there will be an established business. So what is it? Just imagine from the side of a customer. What is the customers expecting? Customers are expecting of unique things. See, if I find a product which is quite comfortable for me, okay, what I do? I just switch to that. I won't be sometimes be loyal to a particular brand. There are certain customers who are having a very brand loyalty, right? But not all the customers. So some customers will be loyal towards the brand, while some others, if a new company is coming up with a new sales or a new promotion or a new addition, definitely they will go towards it. So what you have to do, just understand what your competitors are doing. And if you find that change is essential, see, a new changes, you have an outdated technology with you. It's very essential to switch to a new technology, right? So if you don't do that, what happens? That will lead to an increase in cost. Your time is not wasted. So normally the expenses starts to increase. And when expenses starts to increase, the cost starts to increase. Definitely, on the other hand, the sales will gradually be very low. So when the sales starts to decrease, one or the other day, your organization will go out of the market. So that is what you're seeing nowadays. So if the change is essential, you have to make the employees understand that this change is essential because of these reasons. List them out and make them aware about this particular change. And then definitely every employees, if they are being communicated about this change even before the implementation of the change, that will definitely have a positive impact on the employees. Even the employees can grow. When the organization is growing, the people working in the organization starts to grow. Understood? Is it clear? Okay, anyways, I have a wonderful time. Thank you so much for I appreciate the time that you have taken to attend the class, and thank you so much for attending the session. And I look forward to see you all in the coming sessions as well. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good weekend and have a good week ahead. Thank you so much. Take care.